Minnesota Vikings, Indianapolis Colts. Colts laying 2.5 at home, 48 the total. We're breaking this game down in this video, guys, with Robvinos Sports from WagerTalk.com, Mid-Major Matt, SportsMemo.com. Mid-Major Matt, what are you thinking here with the Vikings at the Colts? Colts laying 2.5, total of 48.
So I love week 2 in the NFL because you've got the betting public who will run out after week 1 and take everything they saw and say, oh my God, this is great. You know, Jacksonville's going to go 16-0. You know, the Eagles are going to go 0-16. Washington's got the greatest defense of all time. And that presents some value here. Now, I don't know necessarily so much if there is value in this game yet. And as we talk about it, we'll figure it out. But you've got two teams I think a lot of people picked to win their respective divisions. And they both started 0-1. And they both did it in different ways. Listen, I think a lot of people in their survivor pool had the Colts beating the Jaguars. And we talked about a lot in the preseason that I think Phillip Rivers was a solid addition if he was going to be a game manager. And here they come out that first game, they throw it 46 times. That's not what I envisioned for a Colts team with a solid group of backs and a really good offensive line. And I figure if they're going to throw that many times, they're going to lose a lot of games because Phillip Rivers is Phillip Rivers. He's past his prime. He's here to get some completions, keep teams honest. But with Marlon Mack before he gets hurt, and Jonathan Taylor, and then Nyheim Hines, who they clearly like, I didn't like what I saw from Indianapolis, and for at least their half, guys, I think that they're going to run the ball more and play more ball control because Phillip Rivers can't be dropping back 46 times a game now.
Robbie Vino, what are you thinking here? I mean, Colts having to lay 2.5, like Mid-Major Matt said. Phillip Rivers, is he past his prime?
Well, I think the Vikings, excuse me, guys, got a little echo in my headset there. I really think that the Vikings defensive front better be much better than they were last week. I mean, Green Bay, for starters, they have a lousy offensive line. They got Aaron Rodgers, no help in that unit. And they reshuffled it before that game. They had an injury or two. They had to move guys around. And here's what happens. Aaron Rodgers drops back 44 times, and Minnesota gets 0 sacks. They put no pressure on the quarterback whatsoever. Rodgers shredded them up and down the field. They got shredded at the line of scrimmage as well because the run game for Green Bay worked behind, again, a reshuffled offensive line, 158 yards rushing to go with the passing attack. Minnesota defensively was never in this game, guys, and I don't know. It seems to be a trend going back to last year in a few games where their reputation as a defensive team is a little bit overblown at this point in time. Now, Phillip Rivers did drop back 46 times last week, but he only got sacked once. If Minnesota doesn't get any better, I mean, you play Green Bay's offensive line, now you're playing Indianapolis's offensive line. I can't see them getting any pressure on Rivers. Without Marlon Mack, maybe the ground game here, week 2, becomes a little bit more explosive because Taylor and Hines are obviously breakaway backs. I think that Indianapolis, with their offensive line matchup against Minnesota's defensive line, is a huge plus. But I also think, guys, really quick, that Minnesota's pass offense works perfectly against the Colts, who, once again, the coaching staff is saying that it's a work in progress, this pass defense, but it's designed to allow a lot of short stuff underneath. They just don't want you to beat them over the top. Kirk Cousins is designed for that type of passing game to have success. Gardner Minshew goes 19 of 20 last week in his first game in Jay Gruden's West Coast dink and dunk style system. So to me, the people who got the over here early got a couple of good key numbers because they got it at 46.5. Really nice play. There might still be some room here. This looks like it could shape up as a 27-24 game with both of these defenses having bad matchups against the opposing offenses.
Mid-Major Matt, coming back to you. What are you thinking here? Minnesota, Indianapolis. Do you have a pick on the game?
Well, I think, it all depends on what Indianapolis, I think Jonathan Taylor's going to be busy. I think throwing the ball to him out of the backfield, he looked really calm and cool out of the backfield. And I think he's going to get more work. I think they kind of used week 1 to be like a test thing because you can't use Nyheim Hines as your every down back. On the Minnesota side, look, the biggest thing I would pick on if I was Minnesota, and they will, is Xavier Rhodes. I mean, this guy is so burnt toast when it comes to playing cornerback here. I think Adam Thielen's worth a look. I think that any prop involving Adam Thielen isn't over here because I just think that Xavier Rhodes could potentially follow him. Even if he doesn't, Rock Ya-Sin's the other cornerback. I want to believe more in Indianapolis here. I know that there's not really a home field advantage in the NFL, and I just think the Colts are a better team right now. So if I was to think of anything, I'd probably lean towards the Colts here and that 2.5 number.
All right, looking to lay the 2.5 with the Colts at home. He's Mid-Major Matt on Twitter at Mid-Major Matt. Robbie Vino on Twitter at Robvinos Sports. Check him out, WagerTalk.com, SportsMemo.com. And remember, guys, Monday is $9 Monday. All plays across both sites discounted to just $9. Check it out, WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com.